Hi guys, I hope you're having a great week. So this is part 4 of my series, What's Holding You Back? So you may be looking to have a rejuvenating medical aesthetic procedure such as Botox or dermal filler, but you have worries, you have concerns, and I'm addressing something each week to help guide you through. So in episode 4, I'm going to address I'm worried it will go wrong. So this is not to do with looking done. I haven't discussed that already, but this is the worry that something will go wrong. You may have seen things in the media, horror stories, scary images, which are, understandably may have worried you. They worry me too. And you may not have seen any of those, but I'm going to enlighten you a little bit now about what I'm talking about. I am specifically going to talk about dermal fillers, and specifically the most worrying complication, the most serious complication, is something called vascular occlusion, which I'm going to explain more about. The thing at the top of all this, which I want to just quickly mention, is that I'm a doctor. I am a GP, and at the heart of everything I do is your well-being and avoiding doing any harm and improving your well-being in some way. So just that's really, really important that you understand that about me, that's really, really important. Specifically talking about vascular occlusion. Now, what is this? Vascular occlusion is that there are lots of vessels under your skin that obviously we can't see. If we put the needle under the skin and it goes into a vessel, there is a 1 in 10,000 chance that it could block off that vessel, blocking the blood supply to the skin. The skin would then show certain signs, you would have certain symptoms, and if it were completely ignored, it would ultimately lead to a scar. And this is some of the awful pictures that sometimes circulate on social media. They are really, really scary. And so I just want to talk to you about how I try to avoid that. And then what I would do if that actually were to happen. So in order to avoid it, I would say that the most important thing is endless amounts of study and a thorough understanding of anatomy. So at the moment, I'm doing a 7-month mentorship, which is basically really intensely about the anatomy and the evidence for where the depths are of the vessel. So how many millimeters is this depth from the skin? Is this vessel from the skin or the bone? And how do we make it safer? So that's really, really important. So I study endlessly and have a really thorough knowledge of where to avoid with my injecting and in what plane to inject to make it safer. The second thing is that I use products which are well researched, market leading products. And more importantly for this specific subject of vascular occlusion is that they are dissolvable. They are hyaluronic acid and they are dissolvable if I need to dissolve it. And I'll talk about that in one moment. So I'm talking about dissolving it if I were to get a vascular occlusion. The next thing is I use a cannula. So in certain areas, if I know that they are a bit more dangerous in this particular depth, I can use a device called a cannula, which I have mentioned on a previous video. It's different to a needle. If a needle encounters a vessel, it's more likely to puncture it. This is blunt tipped and is more likely to encounter a vessel and go around it. So where I know it's a bit more dangerous, then I will use a cannula. The next thing is that I aspirate. So aspirating is pulling back on the plunger to check that I'm not in a vessel. None of these things will save us all the time. There is probably maybe only 50% improvement in my chance of picking up by doing the aspirating, but I layer the safety. So for me, I like to think that each step is a new layer of safety and reducing my risk overall of getting a vascular occlusion. Throughout the procedure, the things that I'm doing are looking for the signs. I'll be asking you questions. I'm looking for the signs of vascular occlusion so that I know to stop promptly and then to respond. If I am to get a vascular occlusion, and I will advise you of all the symptoms and signs. I will go through all of this before and afterwards and any procedure that you have. If I am to get a vascular occlusion, I have experience. I make sure that I always have the right equipment to treat, and I have treated before, so I know what to do, and I will do that promptly if we were to see the signs. And again, I will go through that if it were to happen in more detail. Maybe the final thing is just to say that I have good network of support. I am part of complications groups, so that if I do need a bit more support after the event, once I've handled the emergency, I have other people as well. I'm also to ask for help if I need to, as an extra layer. And I'm also obviously fully insured, etc. So all of that, you can be reassured. I think that's most of the things I wanted to cover today. I hope I've covered all the points. I will stop there, and just to say that I hope that's reassured you. If you have any questions that have arisen from this, please do get in contact. Additionally, if you would like me to address your specific concern, then please send me a message, because you might be really bored with all these topics and be thinking, oh God, I wish you'd just talk about this particular thing, in which case I'd love to address that for you. So please just send me a message and I'd love to do that for you. All right, take care. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye-bye.